Smokehouse. Smokehouse.
Welcome in to the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you very much for all your questions. Craig, it's kind of a juxtaposition because it's your first day here and it's your last day here, Shaq, before you go on holiday.
Yeah, that's right.
Exciting. Very good.
I'm very excited.
Do you want to share where you're going on?
We're to Colombia, Dan.
Going to Colombia.
Cartagena, right? Cartagena, that's right.
Well, beautiful. How's your Spanish? Ready?
Great.
Yep. Ready to go? Why aren't you going? Why don't you take him with you?
Well, he's invited people around his house, apparently.
I know.
Fine.
You know, it's like
Okay,
when you
where's
have
this
people,
going?
people around the house, they open the door and it's hot.
I'm like, what? I've never heard this before in my life.
Oh, man. Nedum's here claiming he was up at 2 a.m. watching Manchester City. Are you still sticking with that story,
Yeah, it's
Nedum?
factual. It did happen.
Yeah,
It did happen.
Yeah,
This
no.
footage, it did happen, yeah.
No way,
Yeah, yeah.
no way.
Sitting there thinking, oh, big squad.
For Gab, players like Jude Bellingham are complaining about the pitches in the US again. Why can't they get this critical part of the game correct, and how can they correct this in less than a year?
I mean, I am not, it may surprise you, but I am not a groundskeeper, so
Right.
I don't quite know the technical ins and outs of that. My understanding is that I think, from what I've read, at some of these NFL stadiums, you are in a situation where if you want to get the grass to set and to lay properly, you need to allow a certain amount of time beforehand to do that. And
What's the exact amount of time?
it's basically it's 47 days. Stop it! But I think the point is, FIFA say they will get it right for the World Cup.
Okay.
And as far as the pitch complaints, yeah, I know he complains, and let's face it, footballers always complain about pitches.
Right.
Don't.
And it feels like less complaints than the Copa America last year.
Oh, a whole lot less.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. What you look at me for?
Why are you asking him?
Why you look at
Goalkeepers
me?
complaining about pitches?
I just said we'd never complain.
Nedum, what did you make of the pitches when you were playing in MLS?
Well, that's the thing, it's different because the MLS pitches and MLS stadiums are probably better suited to the games which have happened so far in this competition. But because, you know, they want to be in the big NFL stadiums and lay that turf, before you know it, like in that Real Madrid game, the ball doesn't really bounce. But anyway, you know, that's not up to me to make those decisions. Let someone at FIFA do it.
Okay, who's got the bigger heart here out of this lot? Nedum, I'll go with you. Who was the most sad you have ever been about a teammate leaving your club?
The most sad?
Yeah.
Ooh. So that's a good question. Come back to me on that one.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
All right.
Come back to me on that.
This is.
Yeah.
No. Thanks, Nedum. I went for you first for a reason.
Well, actually, I didn't.
Shaka will go. It happened all the time.
Go, Craig, please. I'd like Craig to take this.
Well, the answer is never.
What a massive shock! Oh my goodness!
Who could have seen that coming?
Wow!
No, serious. There's a reason for that.
This is a man whose best man from his wedding lives 2 hours up the road, and he's been here for what, 8 years?
I don't know.
How many times have you seen him?
In 8 years.
Yeah.
I've talked to him.
You saw him at your wedding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
See
He
if
filled
I
his
can after
conscience.
You're infatuated by this.
I just find it amazing that your best mate lives so close.
Because he has a busy lifestyle, and so do I.
you really don't.
Jack, I'm snowed under. Right. The reason is, I'm coming in here and just sending me emails about shows and
Oh no.
Club World Cup.
Yes.
Just don't get a minute.
Right.
I left Chelsea,
Yes.
so, you know, I was the one.
People were sad to see you leave.
Well, I wouldn't go that
Is that how we're turning
I wouldn't go that far.
this question?
And then I also left Celtic after my 2.5
Yes, but
years.
while you were there, people left. It wasn't just all about you.
But not anybody you get.
No.
You start welling up about.
Right,
Just,
okay.
that's
No, I'm not saying welling up, but just like, it's
part of the it's part of the journey.
Yes.
As a player, players come and go, and it's something that you accept. Jack.
I'm with Craig on this.
Yeah, I knew you would be, but I knew both of you would say that. That's why I went to Nedum. Nedum.
Yeah, I played with him for only a little bit, but I was there when he played his last game for City, and it was Sergio Aguero. Because he's got 260 goals for the club. I saw when he first started. Then all of a sudden he's just not playing anymore. And as he's leaving, it's in like a half-empty stadium because of the pandemic, and it's like, it was just all a bit sad, to be honest, because that is one of the sort of icons of City of the last 10 years.
That's nice. A nice answer.
No, I could have said one of his mates.
It's a very sad answer. Nedum took the question seriously and answered it very professionally. But in so doing, made us all really sad. I'm thinking of Aguero at the empty stadium.
You work with Craig, you get sad every day. Nedum, who do you think will have a bigger impact on City this season, Bobb or Echeverri?
Ooh, I think I'm going to say Bobb just because he's a little bit older and a little bit more experienced. But it's interesting because Echeverri was apparently going to be in the process of going on loan again and so on as a young player. But Guardiola's told him that he wants him to stick around for this period of time. So I think he's got one eye on making sure that he's part of the attacking lineup going forward. But you know, I think Oscar Bobb has done it before, and I think he'll do it again.
Nedum mentioned COVID. Of course, we kept doing the show throughout that time, and one big talking point was Shaka's lack of air conditioning.
Yeah.
Which
We're going to say lack of effort.
that's pre-post. That's all through pandemic. Shaka, do you have air conditioning now in your house?
I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, lovely.
I had air conditioning, yeah, so it was just very loud. So I had to turn
You had to turn it off when you were on.
He's moved house, hasn't he?
He has moved house, yeah.
For what he's paying, you'd want freaking air conditioning.
It's all going on the Colombian trip.
Because whenever he paid the money, they had big windows when they saw him come.
Right,
Right,
Gab, I'm going to go with you because no one else will know what's going on, I don't think, with this. Is there any way that you can get Crystal Palace to come to their senses and keep Woody Johnson far away from their team? He's the worst owner in all the professional sports worldwide. Don't believe me, ask any New York Jets fan.
Yeah, so Woody Johnson, a.k.a. Robert Wood Johnson, is the owner of New York Jets, former ambassador to the Court of St. James on behalf of the United States, UK ambassador, between 2017 and 2021. He has bought John Texter's...
Wikipedia, calm down.
No, he has bought John Texter's shares. So what I can reassure you about, John Texter had the worst possible deal, I think, of any owner in history. He owned, I believe it's 45% of the club, but he only had 25% of the say. There's three other owners, Harris, Blitzer, and Steve Parrish, and none of them liked him, and they all ganged up on him all the time. So he had no say, despite owning a bigger chunk of the club. So I'm gonna guess that if Woody Johnson bought those shares, the Texter shares, he would have bought them on the Texter terms, which means he'll just be there and he won't have any say.
Okay.
He'll just put in a lot of money and let other people make the decisions.
So don't worry, calm
Does
down.
that reassure you?
There we are.
By the way, he's the heir to the Johnson & Johnson pharmaceutical. That's the Johnson.
Wow, there you go. Lovely. Anything you'd like to add, Shank?
No, just nope.
Gab, start, bench or drop. Del Piero, Totti, Baggio.
Oh
boy.
So my views on this have evolved somewhat over the years. I feel like I have to start Totti.
Okay.
Simply because he's Totti. And I love the fact that he turned down. He's the guy who came up one of those lines which I really resonate with me, which is when it comes to medals, one title at Roma is worth 10 at Real Madrid or Juventus.
All right. Yep.
So I'm going to put Totti first.
How many did he get at Roma, by the way?
He got one.
Okay.
He also won a World Cup.
No, I know, but that's just a saying. Doesn't mean he got one.
Imagine if he never got one. And then I think I would probably bench, this is going to surprise people, I would probably bench Del Piero.
Right.
Simply because there was a work ethic to him, which I always liked, even after his bad injuries meant maybe he wasn't as brilliant as early in his career. But he always put in the effort, always put in the shift. And then, remarkably, I would drop Baggio, who may be the greater player of the three, maybe the most talented player of the three. But the last couple years of his career, it became almost like a sideshow. So I know it's very tough between them. It's like choosing your favorite child, but yeah, that is.
So on that subject, who is your favourite child?
He had a ponytail as well. That's a big one.
He could pull it off, though.
What?
No, he didn't. Nobody could pull up.
It was in his latter years. He had this.
He still has the same. He still has it. But who do you think? Who looks better with it? With Baggio or Erling Haaland? Who looks cool?
Nobody looks good in a ponytail.
Baggio.
Nobody.
All day. Haaland has to do something with that barnet.
No,
He needs to fix it. I mean, he's
good
got to sort
ponytail.
himself out there. No, you know,
John, I'm serious about one thing in life, and it's ponytails, Dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
well, listen.
just
What do you know about hair? Remember you tried to grow a beard? What a shambles. What a shambles that was.
Very barely beard. I thought.
Nedum, as the show's promotion relegation expert. With all 3 promoted teams going straight back down in each of the last 2 seasons, is the gap in money and talent between the Premier League and the Championship becoming too big to overcome?
Do you know what? I'm going to have to eat that because that's technically who I am. I'll talk about City and I'll talk about relegations. That's
Right.
basically it.
Oh, look. What a useless graphic. What's the point?
Yeah, I think the gap is becoming quite big, but I've got a bit of hope in Leeds staying up this year.
Okay.
And I think maybe that'll come at the expense of maybe like a Brentford because they've lost such a good manager, and perhaps they won't be able to sort of cruise their way to 40 points like we've seen the last couple of seasons. But it's not looking good at the moment, and I'll be honest, I don't really fancy Sunderland as it stands to get too many points. Let's just say that.
Final
Well, I think
question.
that somebody might have spent a lot of time in that. It's back!
There it is.
Somebody
We know.
Well, but somebody spent a lot of time putting that together.
Oh,
And
sorry,
I
Craig.
don't think it's right that you are, you know, denigrating the hard work
No, that's
of
very
the
true,
people
and I
behind the
apologise
scenes.
for that.
As
And
bad as that graphic was, useless. I mean, I don't know.
Final question,
Just
Craig.
because you're having time off and you got your own parking space.
I do have-
It really annoyed me when I came in today.
Oh, did you drive past it?
Yeah, but I drove past it, and as I drove past, I was like swearing.
Yes.
Then luckily there was a space,
Oh, I can't wait for it not to be a space.
so I got in. You were
Craig, when asked what changes Steve would make as a replacement host for Dan, aside from having refreshments on the set, he would say he would allow drinks to be on the desk.
Greg, when I
So basically,
Stevie.
yeah. So I said basically, if I get the call during the show, Stevie is on standby to come in and host.
That's not happening.
No, I know, but
Well, it can't happen.
well, but it would be quite funny.
Actually, I would pay money for that.
It would be very.
Exactly, that'd be
Just to
great.
sit
He
here.
was asked 3 changes that he could make, and one was that you could have drinks on the desk. I'm not sure alcoholic or
Soft
non-alcoholic.
drinks?
Yeah, exactly. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
And then everything else was really just about winding you up. A lot more goals, a lot more guests, basically just everything to poke at you until you would just walk out.
Well, he likes lots of goals because he doesn't have to think then, does he?
He sent me a picture, by the way, today of him walking the dog in his slippers. He forgot again to put his shoes on.
Well, the worry for you is that you know, I know you've got, you know, you've got some health things you need to sort out. But there's no sentiment in this game if things go really well when you're away.
What if? Where are we going with this? That Stevie's going to take over?
No, someday.
He just wants your pockets, but
I know. Well, if Dan gets sacked,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe
I'm
maybe you'll get a
taking the
host
pocket spot.
who's appreciative of graphics.
Yes.
Exactly, and that's very true.
Even graphics that are wrong.
Thank you. Well, standard. That is it. That brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you very much. ESPN FC returns to your screen tomorrow. Gab will be back with us tomorrow. Are you here tomorrow as well, Craig?
You're damn right.
I'm not done.
Are you here tomorrow? I thought you said you weren't ever doing 2 days in a row during the summer.
I never said that. I said one day in a row.
Kay will be here.
Benfica, there's a big game tomorrow. Benfica Bayern.
Oh yes, very hot. Discuss that.